TWD, cross the line. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. We're here with the Walking Dead mid-season penultimate premiere episode. Boom, 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 fucking let's go! You ready?
I think you meant the finale.
I did. You know what I meant, guys, but you know what? Seeing I'm surrounded by...
Just call it episode 7, for God's sake. Now, you can't go wrong. Episode 7.
You know
Lucky
what?
number 7.
This episode had everyone in it.
Yeah, nobody died, so it was lucky enough.
I was lucky enough.
Yeah, I had the full cast in it, and it absolutely sucked.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
I mean, it must be... Is it the weakest episode so far, considering it did have everybody in it? I know people are going to shit on Slabtown because it was really only Beth in that episode. But I think Slabtown was a bit better than this.
No, I think it's quite incredible how this show, the pacing of it, some episodes, so much can happen. See, in this episode, it probably takes place over like a 3-hour period, if we're being brutally honest about it.
So, I mean, at the church, we've got nothing really exciting going on. Gabriel was trying to escape, I think, or I don't know what he's doing, but he's not trustworthy.
He manages to escape under the floorboards and he kills a walker. He sees a cross, he shites himself.
He doesn't kill a walker. He's got an opportunity to kill a walker and he doesn't.
Yeah, well, the walker's incapacitated.
He defends himself from said walker, has an opportunity to bash his brains in, but like everybody else in the group, he's like, I don't want to be the same, so he decides not to do it. Michonne and Carl do nothing apart from look after Judith. I mean, they both try and teach Father Gabriel to toughen up a little bit, and they tell him that you need weapons. And I mean, Father Gabriel here being taught by a fucking 10-year-old Carl Grimes that you need to. I know his actor's older, but I'm pretty sure he's only supposed to be about 10 in the show.
That's why it just doesn't work.
10 or 11, and we've got this wee kid here having to essentially train Gabriel.
Should they not have just cast an actor who was about 14? Like a 14-year-old, and therefore, when he does get older by like season 5, he doesn't look too much older. Rather than you cast it a 9-year-old, and by the time you get to the later seasons, he's like a fully grown man.
Well, I mean, they could have recasted the character.
No, I don't like that. That's unacceptable for me, especially when there's not a big time skip. Come on, let's not go down that road. But anyway, talking of the road, they're going to Atlanta.
I guess the time skip, when they do it 9 years later, that would have worked if Carl was still alive, but he's already dead by that point.
Yeah, very true. But again, it's like almost by that point, it's 8 seasons in. It's like, is that really a time to recast? But Tyrese, if for some reason's on this mission, he tries to console Sasha. She's like, don't. We then cut to the hospital. Let's just wrap all
Sasha's not the only person to lose somebody.
Yeah, and her and Bob are dating for like a week.
She can't seem to get that into her thick, alien, xenomorph-like skull.
Her skull is some weird proportion.
Every time I watch The Walking Dead and I look at Sasha and I think that Abraham ditches Rosita for her, it just makes me want to stop watching, to be honest.
Yeah, that is probably the worst decision I've ever seen.
I think this year we're going to have Dumbass of the Year awards.
This guy...
And I think Abraham's going to be in
every single one of his choices.
I think he's going to be shortlisted. I mean, I think he could be in. I think he could appear in it multiple times. A, for believing Eugene without zero proof, and B, for ditching Rosita to get with Sasha. So there you go, Abe.
The guy will have no kneecaps left after the end of this episode. I mean, he's literally been on his knees.
He dies on his knees as well, like, to be fair.
He fucking loves being on his knees.
Mr. McMahon, buddy.
How do you like me now?
Anyway, yeah, so...
No, let's just wrap up the hospital stuff. Beth says, you can't turn off Carol's thing. We like keeping people alive here. And obviously, Dawn hears this and is like, you know what? I can't agree with you, Beth, so I've agreed to kill her. That's your fault. The guilt's on you.
Yes.
How fucking weak.
So Dawn basically says to Beth, because you want it, I can't do it. So therefore, you've just got Carol killed. It's like... What the fuck? Why not just... Why
so
can't...
if Beth said, don't kill yourself, Dawn...
She has to kill herself?
Fuck off, Dawn.
That logic's retarded. Dawn's supposed to be the leader here. Yeah, she just comes across like an... She's not even a villain. And maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they don't want her to come across as an antagonist because she's a woman. But I just don't like it.
No.
They could have done something better.
Beth manages to keep Carol alive via a wee injection, but this doesn't mean... Come on. This actually wasted like 10 minutes of screen time, but it wasn't the worst screen time for me.
Yeah, we're arguing with some guy over charging his iPad. Best, like, you charge your iPad, so therefore Carol gets to live. And Don's like, nah, this guy's iPad's more important than Carol.
I think the worst scenes this episode, though, honestly, were Rosita, Glenn, and Tara. The line Tara comes out with about Eugene used his only skill to survive. We can't blame him. What? Hold on.
Well, the governor used his best skills to try and survive.
He lied. He got a bunch of people killed. So I just don't get that logic. Eugene is smart enough not to lie. He would have been I know he's useless, right? And obviously feeding them that lie. But
no, but he could have been honest. Could have been like, look, I'm not as strong as you guys, but I'm smart. I can help you. I can help you together. We make a good team.
Yeah.
And I think Eugene actually does add a lot to the group. If we take out the whole I can cure the world shit, I still think that he's intelligent enough to be able to come up with plans and be able to help the group out, or if they're stuck or if they're in a situation. I mean, this is a guy that can definitely add something to the group. I don't think he needed to lie. He did lie, and for some reason, it's like he's not even been held accountable for his actions. It pisses me off. This guy told a really fucking bad lie that got people killed, and it's almost like a couple of punches for Abraham, and now Eugene's the victim for some reason.
Yeah.
So that was it. Basically, those three went out looking for water, and Tara made this comment. Then when we seen Abraham acting a lot, so Abraham's sitting there obviously feeling dejected, feeling like he wants to give up. Rosita tries to spark some, I don't know, fight in him, and then he stands up because that's basically doing what she wanted. She was trying to get a reaction. She got a reaction, and then Maggie points the gun at him.
But to drop him? But to kill him?
Who the fuck does Maggie think she is? Pointing the gun at Abe here. I'm not a massive fan of Abraham, but he didn't deserve the gunpoint. Why would he deserve a gunpoint at him?
Yeah, did she think he was going to literally kill her here? I don't know, it must be the only reason she pointed the gun. But Eugene, guys, Eugene is awake.
No, I could almost accept if he was beating her up and then she's like, yo, get off her or something like that, but he literally just stood up.
And looked at her.
And then I didn't like this.
This episode was pish.
Eugene,
definition of filler between four groups.
Yeah, Maggie put some, like, a blanket over Eugene to stop the shade from burning him, I guess. Eventually he wakes up and she goes to check on him, and Abraham, I don't know if he's happy that Eugene's waking up or...
Couldn't they just pick him up and just put him in the fire truck?
True, but...
Is that not better than leaving him outside?
Maybe he would have cooked with the tinted windows.
I don't know.
You're not supposed to leave dogs in the car, so why would you leave Eugene in one?
Very true. Well, he's useless. But let's cook in Atlanta, because Rick, he's got the group run, he's explaining the plan. Tyrese is like, that's if it goes according to plan. We might have to kill people, Rick. He's near grating about the fact, because Rick said Daryl might have to slice some guy's throat.
No, Rick said he would have to.
I would.
That Tyrese wanted to know the plan, how they were going to sneak in, and Rick's like, well, we're going to kill him, we're going to kill him, we're going to kill him, we're going to kill him. Tyrese didn't like this. Tyrese says, you know, what if we can do it without killing anybody, where we can capture a couple of their soldiers and offer a trade, a swap for a swap. And Daryl actually likes this idea, and Daryl decides to back Tyrese over Rick, something that Rick clearly wasn't happy about.
Yeah, but Daryl this season, you know, he didn't want to go back and kill the hunters, and then also you had that situation where he kind of disagreed with Rick here as well. Boom, boom. Let's move on.
What other situation you on about?
The one in the church, Daryl wasn't really for it. He wasn't even there. And you also seen with Noah, he wasn't really too happy that Carol was willing to shoot this kid. I don't know what it is. Is Daryl trying to turn over a new leaf? Is it that wee book that he found in the children's orphanage where it was about surviving childhood trauma? Was he reading a few pages of that and he turned over a new leaf? I don't know, but he's removed his lips from Rick's arse cheeks, that's for sure. So
maybe Daryl just doesn't want to be a cold-blooded killer whose first thought is to kill everyone who's not us.
Yeah, maybe he just simply... probably with Carol and Beth, the two he cares about most in the group besides Rick's arse, so maybe he thinks going in bloody
could put them at danger.
Maybe that is it. So what they decide to do is, we're going to lure some cops out. So Noah starts firing shots, the cops arrive, one of them's called Bob, pun intended. Did he overhear that and just decide to be, you know what, maybe I can use that to my advantage? I don't know, but then the group come out, ambush them. You look like a cop. Rick, the way you handle yourself, you're a cop. Then some guy comes out.
How is Rick? I don't get it. Rick's fucking basically threatening to kill them. How's that cop-like material? Didn't handle himself like a cop, in my opinion.
White cop, maybe. Licari appears out of nowhere. He picks him up in a car. He drives around the corner. It's a dead end. They get out. Rick then splits up the group. Daryl then decides to take on Licari one-on-one. Licari's absolutely wiping the floor with him, and Daryl proceeds to put his hand in the walker's mouth. Now, he only did it for a split second, right? And I get it. Desperate situation. But what? Was Daryl thinking here? Right, worst case scenario is I get bit and I have to chop my hand off. What's he thinking here? Because realistically, if this is a red shirt, they're dead. They're gone.
Oh, aye, you stick your fingers anywhere near a zombie and you're going to lose them, but Daryl actually sticks his fingers in this zombie's mouth and he doesn't even get bit. Fucking ridiculous. He then rips off the head. So the head was so... the whole reason the police stopped were because they got a walker's arm stuck in their tyre and it stopped the car from moving. Yeah, we got Daryl here who's just like ripping the head off its fucking shoulders. Like, I mean, 1 minute walkers are actually strong and they can like take you down and they can stop cars from moving. And then like the next minute they're made of like paper fucking mache. Yeah. And Daryl can just literally rip its head from its shoulders. I mean, there's no consistency with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, like how strong would it be to actually stop a car? And he's lying on the floor, using all his strength in one arm to fend this guy off while using the other arm to rip its head completely out of its body. Ridiculous.
As much as I like season 3, I do think that's when it kind of went downhill with it, in terms of walkers being a threat.
Absolutely. But Licari here, he gets headshotted by the walker. Bit dazed, and then Rick points a gun at him and he's like, okay, asshole, I give up. We then take these three to a warehouse. Big Bob's like, Dawn's not going to give herself up easy. You have to talk to her. It's the only way to make this right. It's the only way you're going to get anywhere. And then essentially what they're going to do is talk to her. And then Lamson, I believe it's called Bob Lamson. That's a very weird name. He tries to put the sweet talk over with Sasha. Starts talking about the fact, I had a guy out there, Ricky, I think his name. What was his name, Ricky?
Ricky,
whatever.
My name's Bob. Do me a favor.
I was supposed to go on this mission, but then Dawn changed it to this guy, Ricky.
Because you trusted him.
And he's lying outside like a fucking pancake. And that could have been me. Can you go put him down for me? Obviously guilt-tripping her with the name Bob, so he must have overheard something, but then it's just weird. Sasha should
Or maybe his name's genuinely Bob.
Could be. Weird coincidence, but not that the reality is. Sasha should be like, right, you know what, I'm sorry about your friend out there, but I have to keep an eye on you, but I promise you if this all goes according to plan, I'll go put him down. Because realistically, right, obviously this is a wee sob story he's made up to escape, but what's the difference if this guy is outside for 2 more hours as a walker? There's no difference. That's the reality.
No.
Or he's suffering, but he's been there since the start of the apocalypse. So let's not pretend that 2 hours is going to kill the guy, even though he's already dead. Sasha goes to shoot him through the window, and Bob's like, "Yeah, that's him." Then he sticks the head through Sasha. She then sticks her xenomorph skull through the window, and that's how the episode ends. With this wee midget Bob guy running away like D'Lo Brown, like he shot himself. This just didn't do it for me. This episode, like I honestly think I've always thought Rick was overrated, but I think Rick is like a GOAT character among jobbers in this show at times.
He feels like the only really important character.
Yeah, I think Daryl does feel a step above everyone else, but it's almost like in parts you're watching C Nation, and then Rick steps out with his man bush, as Negan would put it. Honestly, I think he is a step above, like a clear step above.
I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 10.
I'm going to agree with that. But do you not think until Negan shows up, he's like the only guy that gets close to him?
I would say so. I think that I would have gave this episode more if it was just focused on Rick's group and them going into Atlanta.
Yeah.
But the whole... the
Father Gabriel, man, running away.
The stuff at the church and then the stuff with Abraham and fucking Glenn and Tara and all those people, that kind of sucked. And Beth trying to steal the medicine, that I didn't like any of that. Thought Rick and the Atlanta stuff was decent. But it did get dragged down by the other stuff, so I'm getting a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm getting it a 4 out of 10, guys. We've crossed this one off our list, but until next time, peace.